Well, hello everyone. I hope this is working okay. Um, let me let me make my head a little bigger here. All right. Oh, hey, Sarma, I see you in there. All right. All right. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Sarma. I didn't update Nightbot at all, so I don't think Stefano and Alex are on. Oh, hey there, Logan. Glad you can hear me. That's awesome. Hey, just welcome everyone. Looks like we got about 9 people on. So today, I'm going to build a simple Java app with Astra and a couple other libraries from scratch, and you're going to watch me do it. So this should be pretty cool. Yeah. So what's kind of funny is that we were originally not going to do this workshop. We were just gonna have like a week off just because of the holiday, and I thought to myself, I'm like, hey, you know, I know from experience that there's a lot of people out there who are still, working in their offices or working from home during this week that would love to have maybe something to to learn a little something new, maybe kill part of the day with. So hey, just yeah, welcome everyone who joined. Also, by the way, because this was not scheduled, we had like zero marketing behind it. So for those of you who made it here, bravo. Because yeah, if we get more than like 5 or 10 folks on, I'll be surprised. But thank you everyone who did show up. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's see how well I got my floating head to line up here. Oh, not too badly. Here, give me just a second. And let's do that. No, OBS is fighting me. All right, that's fine. Okay, so, hey, again, welcome everyone. So, who's this session for? Well, I kind of already briefly discussed that, but basically folks who work with Cassandra, or maybe you don't, or maybe you're a developer, maybe you're in the DevOps and you want to learn something new. This is that's totally cool. It'll be easier if you try to follow along if you have some Java experience, but if you don't, again, this video is going to be out there on our site afterward, and you'll be able to go through kind of slowly and make sure that you're keeping up with everything that I'm doing. So yeah, it's great if you have some Java, but if you don't, that's okay too. Have worked with Apache Cassandra. Even if you haven't, it's okay. But if you worked with Cassandra, if you've worked with Astra, understanding a lot of the data modeling decisions that are made throughout this is going to be easier for you. So there's that. And like I said, I know there's a lot of you out there who are working this week between Christmas and New Year's, and you're just holding down the fort. And hey, this is a great way for you to spend an hour or so trying to learn something new. And of course, you might just be out of PTO. I've been there too. So I totally understand. But yeah, hopefully this will be a good session for y'all. Okay. So, what am I going to build today? Well, first of all, it's going to be something in Java, which you could have guessed. But we're going to build a small Java app designed to track nerd holidays. And I've got, some more data and, another, bigger description on that a little bit later. But, nerd holidays for now is what we're going to worry about building something around. So, essentially, our simple app is just going to store and retrieve data. It's really that simple when it comes down to it. Just 2 CRUD methods is all we're really going to worry about. We're going to build out a RESTful service layer on top of that. That way we can have exposed endpoints that we can go to both like persist and retrieve data. So that should be pretty easy. And we're going to put a GUI on top of it. Oh, hey, Rags is in the chat. Hey, welcome, Rags. It's it's great to see you, bud. So hey, here you go. I actually do have some help from my team today. I was kind of thinking they'd all be off on vacation, but no, Rags, it's great to see you. All right, so what tools are we going to use? Well, typically here at DataStax Developers, we build things with what's known as the TSC stack, so Tailwind, Spring Boot, and Cassandra. However, we're going to deviate from that just a little bit today. We are not going to be messing around with anything like, JavaScript, React, CSS. We're going to do this exercise. Rags, I don't have a life. Yeah, same here. That's why. Yeah, anyway, all right. Anyway, I digress. But we're going to build this app entirely in Java. And you're going to see how we're going to do that. It's going to be pretty cool. And of course, we're also using Astra DB. So that's going to be really great as well. The other tools here that have just faded their way in are going to be, you're going to see me using Eclipse as my IDE. I know the IDE wars have been heating up on Twitter, and everyone's all about like NetBeans, IntelliJ, VS Code. I love Eclipse. I've used Eclipse for 15 years, and yeah, that's kind of just the way it is. I'm also going to use Maven for dependency management, and then there's this new library over here called Vaadin, which some of you have probably never heard of. I actually stumbled across it a month or two ago when I was looking for a simple library to use to build front ends for Java. And I wanted to go with something different than some of the things that I've done in the past. And I found Vaadin, and it's super easy to use. It's pure Java, and it's going to blow your mind how easily we can build a GUI with this thing. All right, so yes, this is a live session. There are some ground rules. This is not a workshop, so we're not going to pause and make sure everyone's on the same page. You're welcome to follow along, but I'm probably going to go through some parts fast. The biggest value in this session is just for you to see how quickly you can put something together on top of Astra using Java. And I was going to say it's just me, I don't really have a whole lot of time to provide one-on-one help, but we've got Rags in the chat, and Rags says, yeah, Vaadin is not new. Well, it's new to me. I just found it. But seriously, I think it's pretty cool, and yeah, you guys will think it's awesome, I'm sure. Hey, and I have the repo in the YouTube description. There's not much in there. I have put a bit of the README in there, and the README is basically just going to have some CQL, DDL, Spring IO initializer. So we're gonna use that, and the goal here is to try and finish within 1 hour. So hopefully I can stick to that. All right. So in case you haven't found it already, but what I'm going to do is make sure that and you'll have it on the end. So yeah, it'll be a good working example by the time it's done. All right. So I mentioned a little bit about our Cassandra data model, and that we're going to be working with Nerd Holidays today. So what does that mean exactly? Well, Nerd Holidays. Well, here let me break out of that and jump over here. So if you go to forevergeek.com, there's actually a page they have for this, which lists out basically every nerd holiday you can possibly imagine. There are several that I've heard of before, and some that I actually do celebrate a little, if you want to call it that. But there are just a ton of these out here. And really, nerd holidays, all there really is to it is just, you have your date, and you have an actual day. So the name of it, and that's, you could say that there's a description that goes with it, but we're just going to worry about name and date for now as far as what we're going to show on our app. So, all right. So let me jump back to our slideshow here. So, of course, for the Cassandra data model, we have to think about, not only how are we going to store this data, we have to think about how we're going to get it back out. So, I kind of came up with this primary key of, hey, let's have let's have a year bucket, because there will be, you know, a limited amount of days that we're going to store data about, that we can do it in a year, so we can partition by that. And typically, you wouldn't need to query, you know, more than a year at a time. You know, if you think about, you know, the real life example of looking at a calendar that you put on your wall, you know, you can go through and, you know, you can like kind of look year after year, but really, you know, I mean, I guess some calendars do have like January of the next year at the end, but, you know, we're not going to worry about that too much. Anyway, so we're going to cluster on event date as well. And then just if we have, you know, 2 nerd holidays that share the same date, same year bucket, we have an ID as a tiebreaker. That way we can store multiple and we're not overwriting. All right. So here's the local Pojo classes that we're going to build up. For those of you who maybe haven't done a lot of Java before, Pojo just means plain old Java objects. So, you know, essentially, you know, kind of like I mentioned, the one at the bottom here is our what we call our holiday Pojo. You know, that's where we're just going to track, like, you know, local date and then, you know, the name of the event, and that's it. On the other hand, if we look at like holiday entity, now for those of you who have worked with Spring Data before, you know that there are such things as entity classes. And I'm going to walk you through building one of those as well. That's going to work here. So the holiday entity is really just the name and then the primary key, because everything else other than the name is a member of the primary key. So of course, over here in our holiday primary key class, we're also going to build out, you know, with like, you know, a year bucket, an event date, and a, you know, just an ID. So yeah, that's that. And then of course we've got our Spring Boot classes as well. You know, the live coding demo application is going to be automatically generated. And I'll show you that in just a second. The holiday repository is what we're going to use to map to our specific, you know, key space and table inside of Cassandra or Astra in this case. And the holiday controller is what we're going to build to expose our services as RESTful endpoints. So there we go. And we actually have one more class we're going to talk about. It's our Vaadin class, and really all it is it's just our main view. So this is what when you run Spring Boot, you know, what Spring Boot is going to look for and show, so you can like expose that main view, and yeah, we'll put something together, you know, really quickly. And then of course, you know, as with most of our workshops, you know, we have an application YAML. I'll actually have that out in the repo eventually. It is not there now. But yeah, I'll make sure that gets there. But really, this is the application YAML is just going to use variables from our environment, just like we normally do. And it'll stand up that way. All right. So, hey, now I'm going to proceed to start.spring.io. And this is the Spring Boot initializer. So, let me get out of my presentation here. And we'll actually go to, oh, wait, you know what? Let me, hang on here. Let me switch to the main scene and get OBS out of there. All right. And maybe I can expand that a little bit. Okay. So we've got our Spring initializer here. Let me just refresh this so that it's all ready to go. I'm going to use Maven, of course, Java, and then Spring Boot 277. I actually had, you know, in the you know, kind of like the prototyping round of this, I actually ran into some issues with you know, getting Vaadin to work with Spring Boot 301. So we'll go ahead and just stick with 277 for now. And I'm just going to say, let's see here. Yeah, we're going to say com.datastackstutorials, and then we're going to just say live coding demo, just like that. And we're going to use jar packaging, and I do want Java 17. Oh yes. I do apologize for any of the JavaScript fans I might have slighted. I'm not a JavaScript guy, so yeah, that's probably why. But you're right. I do not mean to to start a war. Lol. All right, so we're gonna need some dependencies here. Let's go ahead and start with the Spring Web Framework. Okay, and then let's go ahead and go Spring Data for Apache Cassandra, and then let's go with Vaadin. All right. Okay, so yeah, we've used Spring Initializer. Let me go ahead and do a generate here. All right, so that's been created. Outstanding. Let me go ahead and, yeah, I'm in my Eclipse workspace, so let's go ahead and move, downloads, live. Oh, I have a few of these out here, don't I? There, live coding demo, and let's move that here. Okay, and then let's do unzip, live coding demo zip. All right. Okay, so I have that imported. Let's jump over to Eclipse now, and let's see. Yeah, we can close that. So we're going to do a file import. That's it, and I'm going to import an existing Maven project. And let's go ahead and browse to where I unzipped that. There's our live coding demo right here. Yeah, we can open that. And as long as we see our POM XML here, you know we should be in good shape. So let's do a finish. Oh, yeah, and I have another project I was working on that made it in there. All right, so if I go to live coding demo, this was just created here. Let's go through some things here. So if I say source main resources, here you can see we have our application properties. Well, we're going to rename that actually. Let's go refactor, rename, and we're going to make that application YAML. And then I'm just going to grab our standard application YAML and paste that all in. As you can see, we've got things already kind of made for the Astra environment variables. Okay, so that's all good. The other thing worth noting here is that in the POM XML, let's kind of look through here. Okay, so yeah, we have Spring Data Cassandra. But we are going to need to add dependency for our Astra SDK. So let me get that in there. There. Oh, come on, really? All right. Took a little bit, but we got it to line up. All right. Okay, and then let's have a look at source main Java. And here you'll see the first of our classes. It's this live coding demo application. Oh, Rags, you fixed Nightbot. Thank you. That's awesome. Anyway, so here's our here's the class that was generated. This live coding demo app. It's basically just doing a Spring application run, and it has that Spring Boot application annotation. So we are pretty much ready to go here. Let's see here. Let's go to Git and let's go out to my DataStax GitHub for a second here. And yep, if we go to live coding exercise. Okay, so here's where the README's at. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do, before we get too far into the code here, let's go ahead and create a AstraDB instance that we can use. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that in a new window. All right, I'm going to sign in with Google. Let's see. So, well, the database name really doesn't matter, but I'm going to call it Workshops. Key space name live_coding. That's actually going to be kind of important. So, let's get in here and go create database and live_coding, and we'll just call this Workshops. All right, to make sure that I'm on the free plan, I'm going to make sure that I have Google Cloud selected as my provider. I'm going to go to North America because I'm in North America, and I'm going to look for a region that doesn't have a lock symbol next to it. So my options are going to be Moncks Corner, South Carolina, and that's going to be about it. And as you can see here, this does qualify for the free plan. So I'll go ahead and say create database. All right. Now, for what we're doing today, the default token is going to be just fine. So the first thing I'm going to do here is actually copy my token information off, just so I have that later on. Okay. And now I'll say go to database. And oh, it's actually still pending, but it says it's online. Well, let's try it. Let's go SQL console. It might take just a second there. But while that's waiting to come up, let's go have a look through here. Oh yeah, for those of you following along who might have not kept your default token credentials, you can go ahead and kind of follow, these steps here to create a new one. But that should be okay. So yeah, the Cassandra data model is what we're going to do next. We're going to use that live coding key space and then paste in our table schema. And then I have a whole bunch of nerd holidays already kind of built in here that we're going to put in. So, oh, and Rags, you're the best. You just went ahead and fixed GitHub. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, so let me do a use live coding. There we go. And let's grab our table data definition language. We'll paste that in. There we go. So let's take a look at that quick. Table nerd holidays. All right. So yeah, we're going to be partitioning on year bucket, clustering on event date and ID, and these are going to be sorted ascending. Now, usually when you build a time series model, you tend to sort like descending on a clustering key. But, for our purposes, really, when you think about it, for a real life calendar, you always start with the oldest dates first, and they ascend down into the newer ones. So that's kind of how it works, and that's how our system is going to work as well. All right, so now let's go copy our table data, and we're going to put this in there as well. All right. Let's check nerd holidays, and I know I'm doing a select star from without a where clause, but anyway, so we have a whole lot of nerd holidays out here. We have Isaac Asimov's birthday coming up, which is also known as Sci-Fi Day, and Apple Computer Day will be coming up shortly after that. And we just had Rush 2112 Day. I'm a big Rush fan, so that's one that I tend to pay attention to as well. All right, I think that's really, oh yeah, the env file, but yeah. All right, so now let's jump back to, let's see, we'll take a look at this directly. I'll do a touch.env. There we go. Excuse me. Let's see here. Yeah, I apologize. I should have had this taken care of right off the bat here. Well, you know what I can do? I can actually, let's go back to source main resources and take a look at our application YAML. Yeah, there we go. So we need our token. Let me try and open this in a new window. There we go. All right. So we've got our app token. We're going to export that. And I'm going to set that equal to my token in just a second here. If I bounce back to Eclipse, you'll see that we have our Astra DB ID. All right, we have our Astra DB region. Oh, and I suppose I had this set up in the README. I just should have used that. That's all right. Crazy things happen live. We forget about things, right? Yep. All right. Okay, so our key space is going to be live_coding. All right. If I have a look, okay. There we go. So US East 1 is going to be my region. My database ID, I can actually pull from right here. Of course, notice that that comes with an extra 1 on the end there. So just get rid of that because it's technically a data center ID, I guess. And then let's go ahead and drop my token in there. Actually, I'll do this off screen, but you know, that way, you know, no one's out there trying to steal a token that I'm just going to destroy anyway. But that's okay. So let's do a source env. Bam, there we go. All right. Okay, so we've got that. So the first thing we're gonna do is let's work on our Pojo class, because that's probably going to be the simplest. All right, so if I say new Java class, somewhere here I had all my notes, and now I can't. Here we go. Okay, so let's go holiday Pojo, and we're just gonna call it that. I mean, I guess you could just call it holiday, but you know, when you've got your entity class, it's always good to make sure. So let's go ahead and create that. We have our holiday Pojo. Outstanding. I'm just going to do a private, and it's going to be a string, and our nerd holiday is going to have a name. So that's what we got. And next, we're going to do local date, event date, just like that. Excuse me. Okay, and now I need to import. Come on. There we go. Import local date Java time. There we go. Gotcha. All right. So now that we're out here, let's go ahead and do source, getters, and setters. And I want both of these, and we'll say generate. All right. So now we have our public access methods on our Pojo, and that's it. We're done with this. Okay, next, let's have a look at our entity class. So it's going to be similar to our Pojo, but not quite. So let's do a new Java class, and we're going to say holiday entity, just like that. Ooh, excuse me. All right, now the holiday entity is going to be a little different. First of all, we're going to tell Spring Data that we're going to use this and map it to a table in Astra by using the table annotation. And our table name is nerd holidays, plural, just like that. And we're going to want to make sure that we import that as well. Wow, Eclipse has really taken a long time to resolve those import messages. All right. So similar to our Pojo, we really only have two fields that we're going to worry about. All right, and that's going to be the name of the holiday, and then remember that at the database table level, everything else is actually a part of the primary key. So we're going to have that in there, although it's not going to be found just yet. But I am going to use the primary key annotation for that. And let's make sure that we're importing that as well. All right, and then we're also going to want getters and setters on both of these. So let's go ahead, yep, generate getters and setters, key and name. There we go. All right, so as you can see, you know, this is starting to come along, but the next thing we need to do is to build our primary key, because of course it's complaining right now that that class doesn't exist. So let's go take care of that. New Java class, and we'll say holiday primary key. There we go. And we're going to use another Spring Data annotation, primary key class, just like that. So what are our primary keys? Well, if anyone remembers, we have one called year bucket. That's going to be a big int in Cassandra, so that maps to a long inside of Java. Just like that. We're going to have a private long for event date, and we're going to have a private, I think this is just a UUID. Yeah. Java util UUID. And we're going to just call that ID. That's simple enough. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring in that primary key class. Again, let's go ahead and getters and setters. Yeah, we're probably going to want all of these. There we go. All right, so now we need to do some additional annotations here, just to make sure that Cassandra and Astra have an idea of what to do with these individual primary key columns. Oops, that's going to be primary key column. We're going to use that annotation, and this is actually going to have some parameters to it. So let's go ahead and pull that in. Perfect. Okay, so this one, its name inside of Astra is going to be year bucket. And if you remember from our primary key definition, this is our partition key, and it's the first one listed. So this is where we can say ordinal equals 0. And let's put a comma there. And then we also want it to have a type equal to primary key type partitioned, just like that. There, then this whole thing resolves. Okay, let's do the same for event dates. This is going to be primary key column. And we're going to be name equals event date. I'm going to say ordinal equals 1. And we're going to say type equals, now this is not a partition key. This is a clustering key. So we're going to pick clustered out of there. And then just to speed things up a bit, I'm actually just going to copy this and paste it right next to the UUID. And then we're going to switch that to ID, ordinal 2, because this is also clustered. So there we go. We've got everything set up for the primary key class. So now I should be able to save that. Let's bounce back to the entity, and you can see it's not yelling at me anymore. It found holiday primary key, so it looks like that worked okay. All right. So the next thing we need to worry about is our repository. So now let's go ahead and do a new Java interface. So the repo, or the repository, I should say, in Spring Data, is actually an interface for the underlying Cassandra repository class. So I'm just going to call this holiday repository, just like that. All right. Now, of course, we're going to need to extend this thing out. And this is going to extend the Cassandra repository class. And then we're going to make sure that it uses the holiday entity class. And then our primary key definition is that holiday primary key. Just like that. All right. Now it's yelling at me about Cassandra repository, so let's hover over that and do an import. Outstanding. So just having this repository here without doing anything else to it, I get some delivered CRUD methods that are going to help me out. I think it comes with a .save, just so that if you have the full primary key defined for a row, it'll automatically just save it out there, and that's actually really cool. But the query methods are going to leave a little to be desired here. So what we're going to do is we're going to build one just to pull back, because we're going to want to query events for an entire calendar year. So we're going to go ahead and do a list, and this is going to be holiday entity, and we're going to say find by year bucket, just like that. And the year bucket is of type long. All right, and that's all we're going to worry about for now. So let me hover over this. Come on. There we go. So let's go ahead and import our Java util list. Okay, so this should be completed. So there's our repo. All right. Next thing we need, building this thing bottom up. Let's go ahead and build our controller. So that's going to be a new Java class, and we're just going to call that holiday controller, just like that. So now the holiday controller is going to be a little more complicated. First of all, we're going to want to use the REST controller annotation, just so that it has, so that Spring Boot has some idea of what it's supposed to do with this. And I'm going to cheat a little bit and paste from my notes here, just to keep us back on track for time. I'm going to paste in that cross-origin annotation as well, just to make sure that we're allowing, specific, RESTful methods, as well as, the type of content. Yeah, I know. Oh, wow. Really? Okay, hang on. Yeah, apparently those aren't going to auto-resolve, so I have to cheat again. Okay, perfect. All right, so when we build up our holiday controller, what we're going to do is the first thing is that we're going to send it our repository. So let's go ahead and create a local variable for our holiday repository, call it holiday repo, just like that. And this should this should find it just fine. And again, this is so that, Spring Boot and Spring Data can kind of wire all that up behind the scenes. All right, so now let's get our constructor out there. All right, and we're going to have it take the holiday repository. This way it can inject the repository in, and like I said, wire it all up together. So let's do this dot holiday repo equals h repo. There we go. That should be all we need for a repository. All right. Oh, I'm gonna have to pull that in, aren't I? Oh, did I spell it wrong? I did spell it wrong. Yeah. I guess that's the problem of doing a lot of this live. All right. So just to test this out and make sure that we have this much working, let's go ahead and create a get mapping. And this is going to be for, off of our root, we're going to say nerd holidays. And we're going to say we want it by year. And we're going to pass year as our parameter, just like that. Okay. And then let's say public, and we're going to make this a response entity. That way it streams it and put some JSON around it. That'd be really great, so we don't have to worry about that. All right, we're going to do holiday entity, and oops. The name of this is going to be find holidays by year. Oh, come on. Okay. So now inside there, we're going to have a path variable of year, as you can see from our URL there, or our resource. And we're going to make that equal to long year inside of the method. All right, and then let's get some parameters on that. And of course, none of this is found, so let's kind of hover over here and have Spring Boot pull in our get mapping. And, oh, I didn't spell response correctly. Yeah, you're right, Rags. That's definitely proof that it's live. That's all right. I knew what I was getting into by volunteering to do this. All right, come on, and then Java util stream is also what we want. Come on, there we go. And then Spring Boot, give me path variable. There we go. Okay. So now it's yelling at me because I don't have a return value, but we'll fix that in just a second. Basically, all we're going to return here is the I'm going to use that response entity class. I'm going to do an OK code, and we're going to say get holidays by year, and we're going to pass year. And then, of course, we're going to make sure we stream that out. Now, that doesn't work because our get holidays private method hasn't been created yet, which I'm going to do right now. Now, you might be asking, why would we need a separate, private method to go ahead and get it? And the reason was I was having trouble getting both Vaadin and REST in Spring Boot to use the exact same methods, and it was just easier to, kind of abstract that out by giving the REST endpoint its own method that all it does is call the private method, and then Vaadin will actually just call the, oh, I apologize, it actually is a public method, but Vaadin will call the non-RESTful one. So that was the way I was able to get this to work. So let's go ahead and do, yep, I just did say out loud, this will be public. And this is going to be, we're looking for holiday, oh, this is going to be a list because we're pulling them back a year at a time. There we go. And yep. You know what? I'm just going to copy and paste this because my ability to type today is definitely suspect, isn't it? And we'll say long year. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's hover over here and get my, come on, Java util list. Show it. There it is. There we go. Okay, so all we're going to do here, let's do a return holiday repo. Remember, that's our repository. And we have that find. Oh, look, it even resolves in here. We can pick it out of a menu. Find by year bucket. Just like that. Come on, there we go. And then it'll pull year, and we just put a semicolon on there. All right. All right, in theory, if I did everything right here, this should work. So let's jump back to here, and we'll do a maven clean install. Ugh. All right, moment of truth. Oh, of course. Oh, what doesn't it like? Oh, invalid target release. Really? Oh, yes, important. Make sure you double check your Java version. All right, and mine is on 11. So, I actually use... Let me check my history here. I'm going to do a grep of JENV. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's 9995. Okay, so this is the command to make Java 17 my local. Now if I run Java version, Java 17. Okay, perfect. Let's try that Maven clean install again. At least it shouldn't error out on that. All right, well, I see Spring. I see it pulling down the Secure Connect bundle on its own, so that's a plus. Oh, well, it didn't like something. What was that? No property year bucket found in type holiday entity. Well, yeah. Find by year bucket. Holiday entity. Regs, yeah, uses SDK man. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, so what is going on here? That is all I should really have to do there. Let me just double check everything. Yep, that should work. And if I look at my entity class, let's see here. Yeah. Nerd underscore holidays, right? Yep. There's my primary key. Yep. Yeah, getters and setters for that. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it should be doing the translation between that. Let's go back to here. Just double check. Yeah, your underscore bucket. That's what I did. All right. Things were not supposed to blow up like this, of course. Let's see. Maybe if I look a little further back here. Yeah, I mistyped year bucket. Could I have done that? Yeah, I don't know. Let's go back to here. Okay. Yep, error creating bean. Yep. No property. Yeah. Well, we're not using the Pojo yet. It is just the entity class. Yep, holiday primary key. Yep. Huh. All right. Let me, Yeah, you know, Regs, it should be coming in right to here. All right, here I go. We're gonna cheat a little bit because again, I did get this to work before. No, the constructor definitely has something. Let me double check the repo here once. All right. Yep. Holiday repository extends. Cassandra repository. Yep. Holiday entity. Holiday primary key. List entity. Find by year bucket. All right. Maybe I missed something in the controller. Ah! I see it. I see it. I see it. It should be. Yep. I forgot how Spring Data likes to naturally unpack its methods. We need find by key year bucket. I'm almost positive that's it. So if I go back to controller here, find by key. Okay. Now let's try that. Well, I think it's safe to say at this point we're going to go longer than an hour. For those of you who want to stay on, you're welcome to. You know, I'm going to stay on until this is done. So yeah, I guess getting it done in an hour was kind of a lofty goal. All right, well, yeah. This is looking a lot better. Ah, build success. Outstanding. Yep, I forgot that find by key bit. Okay, so let's do a Maven Spring. Rags, fingers crossed. Spring Boot run, and I think that's all I need, right? There we go. Okay, let's see if we can get this this endpoint to work here. Okay. Well, it looks like we're running. Yeah, that's a good point, Rags. It works well most of the time. Yep. All right, so let's give this a shot here. Oh, and of course my mouse decided to move on me. All right, let's do / localhost, and we'll just go 8080, and let's do what did we call our controller? That was like nerd holidays, and then this is by year, and we want 2023. Oh. Oh, wait, you know what? I wonder if this is HTTP instead of HTTPS. All right, and then let's go / Nerd holidays. Oh, no, that didn't work either. Well, what the hell? All right. Let's just double check. Yeah, we've got our... Oh, Nerd Holiday Singular. Ay, ay, ay. Ugh, I probably should have made that. Oh, and of course that didn't work either, did it? Yeah, you know, that's a great point, Rags. It did... Let's see here. Yeah, Tomcat initialized. Port 8080. Yep. Root web application. Starting service. Yeah, starting servlet. Localhost behind the firewall. Well, I tell you guys, it's just one thing after another today, isn't it? Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm trying to pull something out of my notes here. It didn't work either. All right, let's break out of this. Yeah, we might be stuck here. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a good point, Gerald. We might have a Vaden problem here. Let me just oh, yeah. Of course, OBS is running a ton. Java. Well, Java's progressing at least. We've got that going for us. All right. Let's see here. Excuse me. I wonder if there's a way that we can get this to run just a little bit quicker for now. Let me pull up the POM XML. Normally, Vaden does take a little bit longer than some of the other web dependencies to come up. So let me just go ahead and pull that out for now. There. Ooh, yikes. All right. Yeah, let's see if we can kill this and get back to our prompt there. 72508. Ooh. Yeah, this is taking a little bit. Let's maybe try that with a kill 9, huh? Did that do it? Oh, that did it. Okay. All right. All right. Okay, we got somewhere. All right. Let's try our Spring Boot run. There we go. Might want to explicitly call the POM XML. It's probably not terribly necessary, but that's all right. Okay, let's just try to run this without. Well, the thing is, if I did a kill all Java, I think that would take down Eclipse too. But I mean, that's okay. I could always restart it if I had to. All right, let's see if pulling Vaden out of the POM XML allows this thing to run in an expedient manner here. Okay, there we go. So I see our, yeah, that's been running. All right. It's, oh, well, I didn't get, I got a different kind of error page, so I'll call that a win, huh? All right, so what did I do not quite right here? Let's get rid of that. Hey, look at that! Oh, we have data. Outstanding. See, I can actually get something to work right here. You know, I'm gonna make a spur of the moment decision here, just in the interest of time management. We're gonna skip the we're gonna skip the persistence for now, and we'll just go right out to building a simple GUI, and hopefully it gets to the bottom of and can resolve Vaadin and everything. I think the problem is just that between everything I've got here with OBS and streaming and, you know, my IDE and everything, I think it might be pushing the bounds of what my system can handle. So so let's do that. Let's just put a simple UI on it. So we'll switch gears over to Vaadin, and we'll see if we can make that work, and then we'll call that a day. But hey, you know, we actually have a working RESTful GET method here that's pulling all of our nerd holidays back. So we'll call that a little victory. All right, so let me Control C out of that. Now that should come back right away. Yes, and it does. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. So now let's put Vaadin back in here, because here's where we're going to need it. And okay, here is where we're going to right click, and we'll say new Java class, and we're going to call this main view. Just like that. Okay. We're also going to give this a route of just an empty string list, or an empty string, I should say. And the reason for that is that's going to make you know, Spring Boot aware of the fact that that our Vaadin UI is out there on our base URL. So we shouldn't have to go to any, well, now my import's not resolving. Hey, there it is. All right. Okay, so we got that. Excellent. So, to actually show this, we're going to need a couple of things here. Let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and create a... Oop, I need to be inside the class. Duh. Let's do a private text field. We're just going to call this year, because we're going to be querying by year. So the idea is that we're going to input a year and then hit like the query button, and then our list of nerd holidays should come back. So let's do a new text field year, and you know it. Yeah, we'll just put a cap Y on that. Okay, brilliant. And then the text field, we'll actually want to do an import on that, because that is a Vaadin UI component. All right, then we'll say private. We're going to want a grid to actually show all of our results. So we're going to say grid holiday Pojo. Because we're not going to be using the entity class here to show the properties. We're just going to use the Pojo. That's just going to have like that event date and that event name. We're going to say that's our grid, and we'll say new grid. And we'll just do an empty angle brackets there, because it'll assume it. There we go. All right, now let's import Vaadin's grid. Yep, just the grid component there. Perfect. we're also going to need a reference to our controller, just because our Vaadin main view is going to have to reference some of the methods inside that controller. So let's pull that in quick. Just like that. Now let's do public main view. Excuse me. And of course, to build the controller, we need to send the repository as a parameter. All right. So we're going to, oh, yeah. I'm going to say new. And I spelled repository wrong. Oh, and I still spelled it wrong. Repository. Hey, look at that. All right, outstanding. Okay, so our grid that we're going to show our data on is, again, just going to have the two properties. So we're going to say grid set columns, and we're just going to say name and event date. Those are going to be the columns on our table. That, all right. All right, and then just in general to our Vaadin view, we're going to do an add. We're going to call that get query, and then we're going to add our grid underneath that. All right. So now let's build out. Oh, thank you, Melissa. You're so nice. Let's see here. Let's build out our get query. So public component, and we'll say get query. And we'll say, let's build out our layout here, and that's going to be a new horizontal layout. Okay, so I have a couple of classes that need to be imported here. Come on. Come on. Oh, it did it for a second. Hey, there we go. All right, so we're going to pull in. Come on. Come on, it's thinking. You know, Rags, maybe I should have had you host just so that that OBS wouldn't have been eating up so much of the resources, huh? It's all right. I'll remember that for next time. All right. So now let's do a layout, and we're going to say set align items, and we're going to say alignment is going to be baseline. And I spelled alignment wrong, because that's just how things are going today. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat a little bit and just paste in all of my imports, just to try and make things go a little bit quicker here. There we go. And let me put this in here just to make sure that, you know, I didn't spell anything wrong. Okay. Sure, it cannot be Java. It must be OBS. Yeah. All right. Okay, now let's add our query button. So we'll say that's going to be a var query button. All right, and then we'll say query button dot add, and we're going to put a theme variant on this of, and that's going to be that Lumo primary. All right, and we're going to give it a, well, you know, maybe we won't give it a default year. That way I can go ahead and put this all on. So let's put that into our layout. We're going to say year. Oh, what did I name? Oh yeah, because year is that text field. Right, right. So that'll work. That'll work. Okay. And then we'll say query button. Okay. So now that we have that all added in, let's go ahead and put a listener on that. For a click, we're going to say add click listener, and let's see, we're going to direct that from the refresh grid method. Now, of course, we haven't built refresh grid yet, so let's do that. And that can actually be a private method. So let's do private list. Oh, actually, it's going to be a void, right? Yep. There we go. Okay, and this is just going to say int year, and that's going to be actually just to make that not get confused with the you know, with the variables we've defined at the class level scope. Let's do we'll call that int year, and then we'll say integer dot parse int, and we're going to do a year dot get value. There we go, just like that. Good, that all resolves. Okay, now let's do list. We're going to say holiday entity. Come on, rows. Okay, and I'm going to do, this is, we're going to call holiday controller dot get holidays by year, and here's where we're passing that int year. And I'm also going to need to do an import on Java util list. Come on, come on. There it is. Now, you know, these still haven't resolved, but, well, I'll cross that bridge once we get to it. Once we're ready to run this thing, which shouldn't be too much longer. All right. So now let's take these rows that we've pulled back from the repository, and let's put them into the grid. So we're going to do a grid dot set items. And that's going to be, oh, right. So, if you haven't noticed so far, in the data model, what I've done is on the Astra Cassandra side, we're going ahead and using a long to keep our dates stored. But on the Java side, we're using local date. The reason for all of that, I'd love to use the you know, the same types all around, but it's like when you use the date type inside Cassandra, I think that maps to a Java. Is it a Java util date or a Java SQL date? But regardless, a lot of the methods that I was dealing with this. Oh, thanks, Cedric. But you know, I don't know that I have too many other projects open. I could go ahead and give it a close and a restart, of course. Anyway, I was just going to say, I was dealing with a lot of like deprecated types and methods by using that date type that Cassandra uses in Java. So the way that I got around that was to use everything in Cassandra as longs and then convert to local dates in Java. And local date in Java is the path of least resistance. I forget what Java version that one came around, but yeah, so that's the plan there. So, of course, I had this convert holiday list, and we're going to run that on rows. And of course, it doesn't like that either, but that's okay. All right. So, let's go ahead for, time's sake. I'm just going to drop in this method that I wrote to convert long dates into local dates. There we go. All right, and we'll want our date time formatter as well. All right. Okay, so the one we're missing is this convert holiday list. So that's going to be private, and we're going to say list holiday Pojo, because we're working with the Pojo at this point, not the entity. And you know what I'm going to do is avert any spelling mistakes and just do that. And this is going to take a list of type holiday entity, because that's what we're pulling back from the database. All right. So now inside there, let's go ahead and create our return value. Holiday Pojo, and we'll say return val, and I'm going to make that equal to a new array list. All right. And of course, I need to import array list as well. Come on. Okay. All right. Now let's for each our way through the entities. Entity holiday, and we're gonna go through holidays just like that. Okay, so let's do our long date, and that's going to be equal to our holiday. Now to get the date, we have to actually pull it through the key. So we're going to do a get key on there, and then a get event date, just like that. I'm being thwarted by my my spacing methods here. All right, then let's do a local date. Event date, and that's going to be equal to convert. I'm just going to go ahead and grab that again, trying to avoid spelling mistakes at this point. And we're just going to say LNG. I'm batting 1,000 today, aren't I? Sorry, that's a baseball reference for those of you who may not follow. It's all right. Okay. So we have the holiday Pojo, and this is what we're going to return at JSON, or as JSON, I should say. So let's just call it that. And that's going to be a new holiday Pojo. And then we're just going to say h JSON.set. We're going to set the event date equal to event date. Perfect. And then set name. And we're going to set that equal to holiday get name. Okay. Oh, and then of course we need to add that to our return val. So that's going to be return val dot add, and that's going to be hjson. All right, and then I need to just return that list. Okay. Now, if I save that, what are we missing here? Okay, so it still has a problem. Oh, right. What I should probably do is layout.add. Oh, yikes. It didn't like that at all, did it? Oh. Hang on a sec. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, good point. Get query needs to return the layout. Thank you, Wolfgang. Yep, I totally missed that. Well, it still doesn't like that. Okay. Let me just double check here. Make sure that I'm not missing anything. Component button, variant, grid, layout, text field, route. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I forgot to extend the vertical layout class. That's it. There we go. Yep, main layout should derive from something that can add. Yep, you're absolutely right, and that's what I missed when I built this out. Okay. All right, with any luck, that did it. To actually save some power here, or some CPU here, I'm going to go ahead and quit Eclipse now that I've done that. There we go. Now let's go ahead and do a... Just see if we can get a clean build here. Confidence is high. All right, looking good, looking good. All right. Woohoo! All right, build success. Outstanding. Okay, let's see if we can get this to run. I will say that that in the testing that I've been doing with this, that it does take a bit for the Vaadin libraries to process through as a part of the build process. So it might take us a couple of minutes longer than normal, but again, I went ahead and yeah, here we go. So it's searching the Vaadin app shell. Okay. Like I said, by closing Eclipse, I'm hoping that I've gotten rid of some of the other things that were taking up resources here. Oh, yeah, thanks, Cedric. I was kind of wondering about that. Yeah. All right. So this might take just a little bit yet. I suppose you know, for those of you who have noticed, you know, Cedric Lundvin's on. Cedric is our director of you know, developer relations here at DataStax Developers. So yeah, I kind of brought this idea to him about like doing like a live hack session a couple of weeks ago. So you know. Yeah, Cedric, I wish it went a little smoother, but you know that's all on me, and I guess that's crazy things that happen when we go live. But you know, I'm just glad to have the opportunity. We can get out here, we can try something a little bit different, and you know, just see how things kind of work out here. Oh, Wolfgang, I didn't know that about that. It's 22 years old. That's quite a bit. let me run a top here and just make sure that those Java processes are indeed progressing. Yeah, and Regs is absolutely right. Cedric is definitely Mr. Java in our in our spaces. And I can say this. I had never used Spring Boot at all or Spring Data before coming to DataStax, and the first project that Cedric and I worked on together, he kind of introduced those to me. I was really not much of a fan before that, because when I used to work at Target in the DevOps world, the DBA world, Spring Data was the projects that used Spring Data were usually the ones that eventually had like performance issues. So I was kind of against it just from that aspect for a while. But to be honest, it does reduce the amount of like boilerplate code that you need to put in. So yeah, it's definitely something that can help out. Based on GWT. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the chat here on my phone, as well as, what's going on the screens. Definitely multitasking. Well, I was hoping this would resolve by now. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, hey, Micronaut. Yeah, I'll have to check that out too. I've definitely heard of it. I can tell you that. Well, while this is running a little bit, let me just progress a little bit here. I know that we have the the GitHub repo out there that everybody's found, but we have some additional resources as well. We have our DataStax developers Discord server. So if you find yourself stuck with any Cassandra projects or Astra projects or DataStax enterprise projects or anything that you're working on that you get stuck with, we want to make sure that you're getting the help you need. So feel free to reach out on our Discord server. We're more than happy to help you out there. And you don't have to be a paying customer. We want folks in the community to be successful. So that's why that's there. Again, oh, there it goes. I'll come back to this. Okay. All right. It's progressing. All right, looks like it's still building in some dependencies here. All right, so real quick, I just want to mention, while that's still going on in the background, we've resurrected the Cassandra Summit. For those of you who have been using Cassandra, but it's back. The Linux Foundation is actually running it. So we're like the primary sponsor. So we really do want everyone to know that, and if everyone is if anyone wants to, feel free to come on out. It's going to be a great event. We had over 200 some talks submitted for it. So we're going to have folks there from, I can see that Sarma's on, so he's from Verizon. He's going to be there. We have folks coming in from like Netflix and Apple. So there really is going to be a lot of great material out there as far as building and using Cassandra, Astra, DataStax Enterprise at that really, really large scale. So it's definitely something you won't want to miss. Oh, hey, and I see down here in my my build window that progress bar is actually moving. All right, we're getting somewhere. Come on. At this point, I'm really hoping that this builds on the first shot here. You know, not that that I have to go back in there and you know, do something to get this to all work again. But it's good. We've seen progress. Okay. There we go. There we go. Ooh. Okay. Good. Good. Well, I'm seeing a whole lot of success messages here. So why don't I try and get to our site resource? All right, let's see here. So how about I do, oh, come on. All right. Well, it found something. Oh, look at that. Okay. So we've got our grid and we have our, oh, and there my mouse jumped again. And we have our year text well, and then we have our query button. So let's do 2023. And if I did all this right, oh, look at that. it actually worked. Oh, wow. Well, somebody's looking out for me. What can I say, right? All right. So here's what I'm gonna do, folks. I know that we're at an hour and a half, and I originally only wanted to go an hour, but you know, again, just some main points to drive home. You know, we actually have a functioning UI here that we can query Astra with, and it's all written in Java. You know, you all saw me the whole way along. You know, I didn't touch anything in the JavaScript world. I didn't touch anything with CSS, even HTML. None of that. You know, Vaadin just kind of did it all. And then on the back end, you know, we really didn't have to write any you know, Cassandra CQL queries, you know, to pull our data back or work with anything. You know, Spring Data just took care of that. And even if you consider all the time that went into this and that we went a little bit over, I mean, still we have a you know, a quick app that's up and running in like an hour and a half on, you know, built entirely in Java, and it's pulling back from Astra, and yeah, so everything works. So hey, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna finish this with the persistence methods as well, and then I'll make sure that gets out into the repo, and anyone who comes here in the future will be able to find that. So. All right. Hey, I think that's all I had. So yeah, I'd just like to say, hey, thanks for everybody who came out. Like I said, you know, we had zero marketing that went into this at all. So by virtue of the fact that you all found it, you kind of beat the odds. So yeah, just, you know, hey, thanks everybody for coming out and for listening and suffering through, you know, me as I kind of made my mistakes and put this together, you know, put this together live. So yeah, there you go. All right. So thanks everyone. Oh, you know what? I don't have, I just realized that I don't have the closing video. So, you know, normally we have like this video we run when we live stream, but I guess it's just going to have to be me saying goodbye. So bye everyone. Thanks again.